liking my buttons. Thanks for watching. If you could also hit the like and subscribe button, that would help me out too. As you can see, I got my new glasses. I love them. There's a bit of blue reflection you may be seeing. It's because it has the anti-blue light spray coating, whatever the fuck can you say. So if you don't know what the hell that is, devices like phones, TVs, computer monitors, they all give off a blue light, which I guess can be harmful to your eyes. So they slapped some of that on. Anti-scratch, anti-glare, so you can see my eyeballs even though I'm reflecting blue light. Kind of looks like I have extra eyeshadow on. It's a built-in Snapchat filter. Oh, and also I got the coating transition lenses, yes. So whenever I go outside, I come in and they're still dark, I'm transitioning. It's dorky. And I probably offended someone by saying that. Good, fuck you. Super hypersensitive culture. Who's done with it? I'm done with it! Man, we grew up in a world where we tried to insult everybody and now we are not allowed to? Pfft, fuck that. Gay homo. I'm kidding, I love the gays. I am bisexual myself, so I can say, is that okay now? So I'm 33 now, going on to 34 this year. No, it doesn't bug me that much, it's just a number. But I have been thinking a lot about regrets and think about things that I've gone through life that, you know, I try not to have regrets in my life because it's one of those things that if you think about it enough, it could drive you crazy. Look, I got a window in front of me, so I think it's picking up on the UVs and I'm starting to go darker. I'm transitioning right before your eyes. I'm gonna get manly up in this piece. Anyway, yeah, I try not to have any regrets in my life, but sometimes things happen that are out of your control and you have to make a decision, and Sophie's choice. Get a Sophie's choice that shit sometimes. One of the first ones that come to mind is when I was about 20, 21, I worked for a magazine. I was the assistant editor of Canadian Musician magazine. We also published Canadian Music Trade, Professional Lighting and Production, and Professional Sound. So 4 magazines in the music industry that we pushed out throughout the year. I got to do some traveling when I worked there, which was awesome. And on this one show, I went to Anaheim, California. I've always loved California, just the idea of it, I guess, and you know, that's where all Hollywood is, and that's where all the hippies went to during, you know, 1969 on Ash and Highbury, and I've just always wanted to go to California. Well, I got to go. I went to an awesome show there. It's called the NAMM show, and I bought a t-shirt from back in 2006, and I took pictures with all the celebrities I saw, and I got them to sign it, and then I put the pictures on the t-shirt when I got home. Well, once I got the pictures developed, because that was film way back in my day when we used film photography. So when I was there at the show, I was approached by this man. I think his name was Rob. And he was an older man, about the same height as me, which is short for a man. He saw me writing and he was interested in who I was and what I was doing. He was in charge of a magazine called 22nd Century Rock Magazine, based in Phoenix, Arizona. He wanted me to do a piece about my experience as a Canadian being in the show, or not in the show, being at that trade show, and just what I thought about everything. So I'm like, cool, awesome. I'll write that up, and I sent it off to him, and I don't think I got paid for that, now that I think about it. But when you're young and you're writing any type of art, I guess, do a lot of the shit for free just to get exposure. So I wrote about my experience there, which was really fun. But then after I did that piece, he contacted me again and wanted to know if I would come to somewhere in the States to report on a music festival. And it was like 3 or 4 days over a weekend. But my dad wouldn't let me go. He's like, no fucking way. He's like, you're not going down there without, like, by yourself. Because before, when I went to Anaheim, I was with my work people I knew for months, and, you know, they paid for it and everything. So this would have been completely independent on my own. But my dad wouldn't let me go. Which, you know what, now as a parent, I agree with him. I see why he wouldn't let me go. That's sketchy as fuck. You're not going to let your young daughter go, who's naive, which I was, take off to some random guy who she just met. So, good job, Dad. Good job there saying no. But that's, you know, one opportunity that I missed out on. Another one is when I worked for that magazine company, I was offered to go to a trip to Germany. It was Hannover, Germany, and I would have been writing about the opening of Gibson Guitars Museum that they opened there. So again, this is going years back. It was early 20s, and I decided I shouldn't go because I would have felt guilty for going, because I already decided that I wanted to leave that company and I wasn't happy there anymore. My boss came in my office one day and he asked me to do something which I didn't agree with, but I did anyway because, well, I felt intimidated by him. He's my boss, and he's an older man, bigger than me, and so I felt a bit of intimidation, so I did it. But you know what? Having said that, I did know at the time, and I realize now I'm my own person. If I decide to do something, that's my actions are my decision. I'm not going to turn around and say, oh, because he intimidated me, I had to do it. No, there was still an option to say no. I just was too much of a pussy to say no. And I should have. Looking back now, if that happened to me today, I say, no, I don't agree with what you're asking me to do. It wasn't anything sexual, nothing like that. It was totally work related. But I would have stood up for myself now and said no. But then I didn't, and then I just let that eat at me and ended up hating my job. So, you know, life lessons. Say what you mean and mean what you say. And say it proudly and confidently, and don't let people walk all over you. Yeah, that's what I should have done. So anyway, because of that instance that happened, I wasn't happy there anymore and I knew I was leaving. Took me a few months to find another job. So I didn't go to Germany because I felt guilty because I knew I was gonna quit that job. What? Fucking retard, I should have went. I should have went. Now, I was a bit nervous to go by myself. I would have been going by myself, and it was apparently, Hannover is a smaller town. I don't know what it's like today, but apparently at that time it was a smaller town and not a lot of people would speak English. I don't know German at all. So that made me a bit apprehensive to go as well. But I'm still kicking my own ass. I wish I went. Should have went to Germany, man. One day. Some of you know I love doing stand-up. Really want to get out there again and do it. The lady who gave me my start in stand-up is Shelly Marshall. I actually went to school with her daughter Chelsea, and that's how I knew Shelly. You know, fast forward, I get out of high school and Shelly is doing stand-up, and I went and saw her, and she was hilarious. Then she did sort of like a comedy show with music and burlesque dancers, and we went there and I thought, you know what? I'm watching these women do stand-up. Like, I want to do that. I'm thinking of some funny things. Like, it's ballsy to go out there, and made me nervous and scared to do it. But some of the best stuff in life does make you nervous and scared before you do it, right? And then you take that step and you do it, and you're so glad that you did. So I went and saw her performers, and made me want to go up and do it on my own. So I contacted her and she gave me a shot, and that's when I first performed in Dunnville at Ace's Bar and Grill, which is the bar attached to our bowling alley. And then she invited me to perform with her at another event, and it was going to be at a club in Toronto that was all 420 friendly. And now that's before it became legal, but there was still like, it was starting to become more common, and there was like clubs and that, I guess, that were, that instead of drinking, people would be smoking there. Now, this came at a time just before we were about to move to Fort McMurray. So from Ontario, southern Ontario, we drove to northern Alberta, and it was like maybe a month before we were gonna leave to do that. And I still would have been here during the time, I still would have been in Ontario during the time when she invited me to this festival or to this other comedy show. But I said no because I was preparing to do this big move and I was stressed out about it, and I could only handle so much stress in my life at one time. So I said no, and you know what? That's been a regret and stuck in my head too. I should have said yes. Should have taken every opportunity that comes my way, right? Especially if it's something I want to do and I love to do. So like, fuck, I'm kicking myself in the ass still for that one. So being 34 this year, I don't want any more regrets. I plan on taking every opportunity I can and see where it takes me. Let me think, what other opportunities did I have to say no to? I don't know, I guess maybe moving back out west. We could have stayed there, but we didn't know how long the evacuation would have been. Sorry, let me just recap quickly. So we lived in Fort McMurray until the wildfires happened and the whole city was evacuated, and we decided to move back to Ontario as soon as that happened, right away. Sean says he regrets not going back. I do and I don't. I do because I worked for an awesome company. I loved the company out there, Birch Mountain Enterprises. Great team, you know, it was a couple brothers and their friend who started it, and they're still very involved with the company, and you feel like they give a shit about you. Man, when you can tell that your boss actually cares about you, that makes such a big difference. So I love the team we worked with. The people in the office were awesome. The guys in the yard were really great too. I was trying to get them to teach me or train me to be one of the truckers. I just wanted to go out for a couple days in each of the different trucks and just to see hands-on what they do. I think cross-training is very important in companies. Like, this hand needs to know why this hand is doing what they do, so they don't get all pissy and if it's not done fully or completely. And to know the reason why you're doing something and not just blindly doing it because you're a fucking monkey pushing buttons makes a big difference. But just before the fires happened, I was trying to get them to stick me out in the trucks. Out there in the oil sands, they're not dump trucks, they're not loaders, they're heavy haulers. Giant machinery. That's like you're driving a skyscraper. It's insane. Like you're driving a big ass building down a road full of rocks to get to that black gold. But I wanted to be a heavy hauler because I thought that would be awesome to drive one of those fucking houses. But those were all 12-hour shift work, and I was spoiled with my office hours. It was like 7:30 to 3:30. It was awesome. But as a mom, it was easier for me to have those office hours. Not saying that's something I regret, but something that I would have liked to have done for sure. Oh, here's another one. I've gone skydiving twice. I was about to go a third time. So the first time I went on my own, like I paid for it myself. I was 18 years old, saved up because it's something I always wanted to do. Finally went, did the skydiving. About a year later, I'm in college and I'm writing a column about my skydiving experience. And then I wanted to interview the facility where I went. So I went there, interviewed the guy, and after the interview, he offers me a free jump. I'm like, oh, I'm not supposed to take that because it's basically you're bribing the writer to write something nice about your company. But I figured I was gonna write something nice anyway because I loved it there. They were cool guys. So I said yes. So I took the free jump. Bam, went twice. Solo, 10,000 feet on my own. Like a glove. Anyway. Told about my skydiving story in the past one, which I'll link up here again for you. But the third time I was gonna go, it was gonna be a different location. It was gonna be at the Burnaby skydiving place which is in Port Colborne. Which, that's funny as enough, that's the one that I used to see when I was a kid and see people skydiving, jumping on. And that's where the bug caught me. I'm like, I want to do that. So I was excited to do it in that same location to see what the view would be like from up top. But something happened to me. I don't know what it was. I was a couple years older, so I was about 20 or so. But something just wouldn't let go. In my head, I kept thinking, third time's a charm, third time's a charm, third time's a charm. And I convinced myself that I was gonna die if I went skydiving a third time. What? I already went twice. Now this time it was gonna be higher. It was gonna be at 30,000 feet, and I would have been tandem. So that means I would have had an instructor strapped to my back. I'm sure everything would have been fine because I had the instructor right with me. But I don't know. I just got crazy paranoid. So I called them and canceled. I was supposed to raise funds for the Niagara Children's Peninsula Center, I think it was. I raised money for them. I still gave them all the money I raised, but I just backed out of the skydiving event. Ugh. Yeah, like a tool. So that's one thing I regret doing. I wish I did that. But yeah, I can't think of any other big regrets that I have. Thankfully, I don't have that many. You know, I'm sure there's things I've said to people that I regret that take a while to think about. I mean, we all make mistakes. We all say shit we don't mean at times. And I don't know, I try not to have regrets. Not just because, you know, it's not fun to live with regret in your mind. But because, think about this. If something didn't happen to you in your past, it wouldn't have shaped you to the person you are now. So you'd be different. You'd be different somehow. And if you really truly love yourself and the person that you are, then you shouldn't have any regrets about any of your past. Because then that's contradicting your love for yourself now. But who really loves themselves that much? You say you do, you try to. But I think probably most of us have more self-loathing in different ways. So that's why I would never be offended or upset about somebody's past. You know, their history is their own. It's what made them who they are now. So the fact that, you know, Sean, my husband, was a little player douchebag back in high school doesn't affect me because he didn't treat me shit like that. So when you start a relationship with someone new, yeah, it's good to kind of maybe take heed in the back of your mind of the person they once were, but you have to give them a clean slate from that moment on. You have to, otherwise you cannot hold someone's past against them. My first boyfriend did that to me. He held my past against me, and like, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm thinking, why'd you even date me in the first place? None of this is new information. You knew this before you started dating me, so what the fuck? And it's not like you can't go back in history and change it anyway. So move the fuck on, right? Moving the fuck on. So I know when you're faced in life with some crazy, weird decisions, it can be really hard to weigh the pros and cons. Because there's going to be pros and cons that your mind says, pros and cons that your heart says, and pros and cons that your loins say. Am I right? Yeah. Some advice my sister gave me is to make sure you think about something for a couple months before you make a big decision. Anyway, I'm running out of space on this old iPhone 6, so I'm going to cut it off there. No regrets, yo. Thank you all for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and I would love you long time. Mwah!